Test, test.
All right. Hello, hello.
Hey, how's it going? All
Yeah,
right.
good. We
Nah,
streaming?
yeah. PC died on me. Pretty funny. So the studio, I'll need to look at that later. But hopefully it doesn't die on me again. That was a bit rough. But everyone, if you can hear me nice and clear, welcome to InTech Round 8. And I guess it is going to be a repeat of Round 1 where teams will get their revenge. And I'm joined with C4J, aka Dana, and Charybdis, aka James. And I'm just going to say 1 minute to start, and we're going to go from there. But how's it going, Dana and James?
Yeah, it's going pretty good. Just another day, another 3 games. I'm glad to watch. 2 of them will be pretty keen to see. Actually, honestly, Warp versus Destiny is a pretty big match, and it will decide the standings from now on.
Yeah, and that's going to be quite. I'd say this round is pretty important for not just mental reasons, but placing reasons, like you said, and how it affects those standings and stuff like that. But any predictions from yourselves? Who do you think's going to take each
Yeah.
game?
Well, first game I got Warped. I think Warped is the better team right now. Well, they clearly are. They're the top ranking team. Destiny looks pretty rough with their gameplay, so I think they'll take game number 1. And then we got what? MMA versus AD Astra. I think AD Astra has the better team there. Even though they're both 1-5 each, I think AD Astra's better.
Yeah, and Eddie Astra definitely did get a bit of an upgrade with picking up Cade, or AKA Junior Burgers, in the top lane. Has really turned that team
Junior
around
Burgers.
quite well. So he definitely took it to Jupiter's last round, and that game was quite the nail biter.
Close
And
one.
yeah, it
Yeah,
was very
it was really
close.
close.
So I'll have to turn myself up. No worries. Let me know if I sound smooth and handsome there. But yeah, looks like
Of
both teams are
course.
ready. Just waiting for Destiny to say yep, and then we're going to get this underway. James, can you please test your mic as well, I suppose?
Hello, it's probably a bit quiet. It usually is.
You sound pretty good there, I reckon. So I
Oh,
think it's
okay.
just me that's a
Okay.
bit soft. But I'll do that.
You sound good, bro.
And then I'll turn up Dana a tad. And then, yeah, so he's on the gas mic. That's why I turned him down a little bit. You might have got a bit of static feedback, but I think he should be okay now. So that's good. I believe we have gone into champion selects. So I'm just kind of get all these slides up ready and sources locked in, because for some reason it's kind of decided to default everything on OBS. So I'm kind of like working a lot in the background. So I'll let you guys talk about draft phase while I fix these things
Yeah,
up.
so Chotobus, you got any predictions of the bans and picks so far on these 2 teams?
I don't know that much about the red team.
Well,
Jimmy Baggins is your icon trick, so that's
yeah,
always bans. They're probably gonna ban out Prodigium. Engage
probably
supports usually plays.
he likes the fresh, right? I think so.
Stash,
Pike.
Pike, yeah, I guess Pike. All the hook champions. Blitz as well. Nautilus too, but they ban Nautilus.
Um, let's see. Probably a jungler maybe here. Or Brandon. Yeah, that's the brand. I would actually have thought that they would to target ban the jungler, but they don't seem to be doing that. Lissandra, they Destiny played that against us last week, and it's quite the engaged tool, but
Sedge first pick.
it's
That's
a flexible pick. They can pick a top or jungle.
oh, they have a
Uh,
sub. They have a sub jungler. They have Badger instead of um.
I think we've seen this guy play a couple times on Destiny, Satanic Badger. He should be alright to like work with the team. He's known them for a while now.
Kai's blind is surprising. Kai's not that strong right now. Surprised to see it pick first.
Maybe they want the counter picks in the jungle and top. Just pick the ADC. Not really too hard to counter pick in that.
I'd expect jungle here, like AP jungler. Like he plays a lot of Nidalee, I know that. Wouldn't be surprised to see Nidalee or like Zyra.
I'm thinking a
Oh,
support
I
here,
would
but
pick
yeah,
support. Okay.
yeah. I'm
Okay.
thinking they want the counter picks in the jungle and top.
Full dive bot lane. Blind is pretty risky. They could just get counted, but like poke. Which odd manner did you play? Yeah, Jinx counters it.
Some Jinx. Honestly, I can't predict these drafts, to be honest. These guys have a big champion pool on both sides, so they could pick whatever they want and flexible in every direction, I would say. So it's kind of hard to say what they're going to pick next. But Jinx is a good staple. Not much escape for the Alistar and the hard engage, so I would have preferred an Ezreal here or Xayah, but you know, yeah, sure.
Yoss with blind as well. Which is surprising. Well, not surprising because he plays a lot of Yasuo, but Yasuo with blind's kind of easy to counter. I
Yeah, they
stuck
don't
him
have
pick mid here.
much knock up right now, but you can knock up. You can press R on the Sojourner Q, right? That's the thing. Pretty sure.
Yeah.
A little bump,
Yeah, that's the
and that's the
Nidalee, which
Nidalee. Yup,
I don't know if he's
you
the
caught
fun
that
trick,
one.
but he played it a lot in the first couple of weeks.
Yeah, just easy pulverize into a Nidalee Q, just like all your HP. But Yashua is good for that.
Want me to wait while you go get them?
Alright, I'm back. Just let me know if I sound alright, but can only do so much. This PC is literally running on gas, if that's even a term, so... Yeah, so...
It's running on coal, bro.
Yeah, pretty much. So right now the graphics card is actually dying on me, so I'm gonna see how that goes. And trying to make things work, so... Just let me know if I sound okay, but what are the drafts so far? They look alright, eh? I guess the Yasuo is a bit of a first timer for Destiny, I assume, so... And we had the Nidalee back on Warped, running it back from the very first round, so... I guess, have you guys ever run into AD Nidalee with Conk? Is she back, would you say?
I don't think that's back. I'd be surprised to see that. I've been playing much recently, but is that back? Is that a thing?
No, I don't think that's a thing.
So I've seen some pros play it in the top lane, but not in jungle, so I don't know how it would transition into jungle, so...
Yeah, I assume it's just AP, but it's jungler playing it.
But if he's able to pull it out, I mean, he pulled out the Gwen before, right? So, you know, the Nidalee technology is not that far off pulling it off, and now she's a bit more mobile. But we do have some staple picks coming through. I guess the Rakan. We haven't seen many Rakans this tournament, as far as I'm aware. So, yeah, it will be good to see. Not enough synergy with the Jinx, I would imagine, but it can still be pulled off. But what are your thoughts as Rakan as a support pick? Quite versatile?
It's alright with, like, it's good with a team comp, it's alright with Jinx, but into Alistar, it's pretty bad. He just gets headbutted out. Same as Gallia, you can't really dive on either of those. And then Classic can just ult out of it as well, so it's kind of hard to execute into that team. It works well with Jinx and the rest of the comp, but it's hard to find where you picks her.
Yeah, and we do have my favorite top lane pick being locked in here. So the Renekton taking on the Sejuani tops. So yeah, that's probably Renekton favored, but it just depends how Jimbo Baggins kind of pilots the Sejuani and the play style of that pick. But showing a bit of prowess with their flexibility in the draft, and I think both drafts look pretty good. Besides that support pick, like you mentioned, James. So guys, who do you think won the draft here?
For sure, Warped. I reckon Warped has the far better draft with the more, I would say, like the LPL style with the Kai'Sa, Alistar, Nidalee combos, and Renekton just to top it off all up. Galio can set up for Nidalee. It's clear that we're playing for Brendan over here. I don't see how Lilia can play this game, to be honest. She gets into the medium range and she'll just die instantly. So it's going to be pretty hard for Destiny, I would say, in this game.
Yeah, and they all nearly have losing lanes, just about, in my opinion, like you said. So, yeah, the Warp definitely won the draft phase there, and I think it's going to come down to a lot of outplays on the side of Destiny if they're going to beat this Warp squad, because, well, Destiny are the only team to actually beat Warped in the very first round offline. So, yeah, a bit of revenge coming in for Warped, or will Destiny upset them again and be their kryptonite? Who knows? So, that game was played offline, so not many people got to see what actually happened. I think it just came down to Warped warming up as the season went on, but they're able to find their footing. So, yeah, I think Warped looked pretty poised to take this matchup, but I'd like to hear your thoughts about probably the next match after this one. So I guess it was another upset previously, ADA versus MMA. What are your thoughts on that match really quickly, and why?
James, Jarvis, you want to go for that one, or
That's all you.
like the matchup between ADA and MMA?
It was pretty even before, but do you think it'll be more one-sided now, or?
I think ADA is just a better team, to be honest.
Ooh.
I'm pretty keen to see Junior Burgers. You know, they've put him to the top lane where he's seems to be stronger on the Camille when versing Jupiter's Angels before. You know, that was quite a close game.
Oh,
I would say, you know, we have the two master players in top lane and both have their egos that they want to show. So Kled Sped and Junior Burgers, and I think Junior Burgers will come out top unless Kled Sped can, you know, prove me wrong. But otherwise, I will see that happening that way. Um, yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, and I guess we'll just touch on the next match after that, which will probably be the highlight of the night, which is you boys take on Jupires. And I know it's a bit biased to ask you guys about the predictions and what you're going to do and all those kind of things, but you think you're going to stomp Jupires Angels in this, or what?
No bias at all. No bias at all. Talk over here. It's gonna be a easy game. You know, probably perfect score. Jupiter's, you know, it's no bias. It's just factual. Last game was fine. This like last split, and now this one will be fine too.
Yeah, I would
Yeah,
imagine.
everyone knows it. Everyone knows Liam's the only good player on that team, and he's kind of washed up now, so it
Well,
should be pretty easy, I'd say. Action's not good anymore, so
Yeah, so we'll talk about that a little later, but just glad that we're able to get such a banger in these next couple of games. But we'll quickly go to our minor and major sponsors, and I'm hoping my PC doesn't crash. So we'd like to thank our minor sponsors: McDonald's, Vigor Group, Urban Tactics, Pathfinders NT, and Joyce Main Darwin Pathfinders NT, sponsoring a Tekken player at the moment in the Tekken scene and that comp. If you're following the fighting scene. And it's great to see esports in the local community rallying up like that. And our major sponsors for the Intech tournament for League of Legends: Tangled Ventures, The Array, Paul's Ice Coffee, and Next Tier Studios. Mid-season podcast could be held at The Array. I'm just trying to organize that in the background. So, yeah, might have Dana come in for that, so that would be pretty cool and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
mid-season podcast catch up, talk a bit of banter and basically the season highlights and stuff like that. So it would be really awesome to see, and I believe we have loaded into the games. So we're going to quickly.
Yeah, Chadabis,
load into
I didn't get your opinions about these teams. Do you think who won the draft in this one?
I mean, I think Destiny lost drafts pretty hard, but I think that's usual for them. And then they're like a team fighting team, so the draft doesn't matter too much. They just like lose early and flip a 5v5 late game and win. So the comp's pretty good for that. So it's pretty even, I'd say.
I think Destiny can only fight the individual fights on like if it was very messy team fights, but you know, Warp has been doing their strategy where you know they work together pretty well, so I don't see that happening. But we'll find out. Just Renekton and giving little Jimbo Baggins a little dink, you know, for warding, but just gonna recall and heal that up. All standard openings, just a fan position. Ward on the Raptors. Nothing special here.
Yeah, nothing special, but just a quick FYI. So our boss man David double booked the studio, so I actually have the African band playing in the background in the other room. So if you hear some good African tunes, you know now you know where that's from. But I'm trying to filter it out as much as possible because they're quite loud and quite enthusiastic, and we'll just leave it at that. But yeah, like you said, pretty standard starts and itemizations, and I would like to see Jonu be more aggressive in this early game, but Jimbo Baggins taking grasp of Ignites, so we're going to see how this matchup goes. It should be heavily Renekton favored unless Jimbo weaves in those grass procs as efficiently as possible, but, you know, me being a Renekton player, there should be an easy level 2 first blood if he's able to get that under control, but... yeah, looks like he lives true. Mr. Braden himself is going straight for the invade, and he's taking it straight to Satanic Badger. What are your thoughts on early invades, Dana? Are they relatively risky or in this type of environment?
I think this is a really good idea by Brandon. You know, Lilia, if she decides full clear, she will just miss out on a lot of her blue buff, and she'll just become to a surprise. But apparently he knows that, and Satanic Badger is just gonna go to the vertical jungle, so it's gonna be all fine.
Yeah, so if he's not going to be challenged, I think they're just going to basically, vertical jungle, like you said, and just see how things turn out. I think Nidalee will probably start having a faster clear as the game goes, but I guess Lily is still strong in that regard. But a bit of a trade coming in from Beautiful Dwang into the Destiny bot lane. But first time I've seen Rakan being played by Prodigium. I don't think I've ever seen him play it for quite a while. Have you seen it before, guys? Oh,
Definitely not.
I do with him a bit. Oh, going top.
Oh no, Jonu calculates it and he falls to the minion damage in the top lanes. So, yeah, just barely able to get that first blood. But then again, it's just a little bit of extra gold. But, yeah, that Ignite coming in clutch for Jimbo Baggins. But, yeah, I guess Rakan into, like you said, this Alistar is going to be a bit of a... I guess it'll be like a bit of skill expression if Prodigium's able to pilot that quite well. And it's probably, you know... one of the best, if not the best support in the comp. So if he's going to do it, or if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be him. So yeah, I'm very surprised that Byron is really winning this matchup into the Galio. But then again, I guess this just comes down to how expressive Byron is with the Yasuo and just propping that fleet footwork all together. But yeah, nothing to really talk about in the early game. But I got to say, a bit of a gold lead already coming out for Destiny here. I guess that's just down to lane diff. Yeah.
Yeah, so Nidalee ganks top lane early, gets the assist 150 gold, but you know, Satanic Badger gets a lot of the farms. He's up 14 CS. It looks like he's gonna go in. Rakan goes for the stun. Look like exhaust goes down to Jinx, but Kaisa is just free hitting over here. Barrier comes out. Will they get out?
Yep.
Summoner Swell's coming off. Yep, just comes out.
Yeah, and just the barrier of all things, and I guess an exhaust coming out from Beautiful Dwang, but yeah, just able to see that Kaisa definitely does have the advantage with PTA and being that early game champion, while Jinx needs probably that 2-item power spike to really get going here. But yeah, right now the support with Galio in the mid lane really struggling into Byron. Byron already doubling CS just about, so yeah, just endlessly pushing in the Galio. I guess both junglers are just going to farm up and take their picks, but looks like Braden wanted to invade again, and I guess Satanic Badger is like, not today. So, yeah, pretty early days at the moment, but Jonu should be winning this out. But I'm glad we got to see a Renekton Nidalee game for once. So we're going to see if they're able to punish this flashless pig in the top lane.
Yeah, Satanic Badger is just hovering around the top lane. He knows that Nidalee wants to go in, so just going to stay around there. We actually have a fight in the bot lane. They're still going at it.
First towards this top lane. The 2v2's losing, but Yasuo is moving first.
Yeah, so if Renekton's not careful, he's going to get collapsed here and he will die. But the Galio does come through. It might be a bit late, but it's perfectly calculated by the support. The knockups come through, and finally the Renekton falls. Jonu surviving as long as possible. And we do just have a 1-for-1 trade and a flash being taken away from the Lilia. So yeah, a bit of confidence coming from Braden. Dark Harvest and Nidalee definitely going to start stacking that Dark Seal and just does a little BM auto attack, trying to get Byron just to delay his back a little bit more. Just this Nidalee playing very aggressively and not prioritizing farm whatsoever. Just trying to always counter jungle and always put pressure onto the enemy jungler. And yeah, right now we just got a 2 for 2, but he was able to pick up 1 grub there. So nevertheless, they're able to pick up 1 for the side of Warped. And yeah, this just puts both junglers behind in terms of XP, because just they keep trading over and over again. Destiny have the lads inbound, and they're going to pick up a 2 for 1 advantage in terms of grubs. So we're going to see if they're able to take the dragon essentially as well, or if they're just going to leave it and scale as their champions are. But I think as the game goes on, I think Destiny really need to start playing a bit more aggressively, so they can get this Jinx going. But
yeah, they really.
oh, a bit of a play here, but Byron's able to cut that out, and Prodigium's able to save his mid laner. Beautiful Dwang's kind of searching, but he doesn't realize he's not level 6 yet, and he's forced to back here, and the support's able to walk this out. But a big knockup coming on. The support actually plays really well into the Galio, and that's going to be a quick kill onto the side of Satanic Badger, falling to Brayden, and a beautiful spear coming through for the Nidalee as well. Brayden picking up the double and stacking that Dark Seal. I gotta say, the beats in the background, I don't know if you can hear it on the stream, but yeah, they're really stepping up in terms of volume.
I'm surprised to see Destiny took that fight. I think they were winning it early, but then they hesitated a bit too much. They got chunked out, and by the time that they actually went in, it was a losing fight for them. So I think they need to turn that a little bit earlier with the Yasuo ult, but they were a bit too far onto tower, so they just got chunked down with all the CC. But Alistar is quite out here.
Yep,
It's
and
gonna die
they've
for free.
taken advantage of 2 people on the side of Warped, just being slightly over-aggressive, trying to get those lanes in, trying to get that vision in. And yeah, beautiful rotations coming onto the side of Destiny, and they kind of even up the score based off the slight overstay coming out from Warped. So yeah, right now it's back to an even state, and Yasuo now staying in the top lane versus Renekton. So I hopefully gonna see he walks back to the mid lane, which he should. So yeah, the support right now kind of really struggling on the Galio pick, but you can afford to fall behind on this pick. You just have Aftershock, and you're able to get your combo and your ult in. You know, you've kind of done your job here. So yeah, right now it's back to an even state.
Yeah, it definitely is even in gold, but it feels a bit weird as 3 laners on Destiny has 15 more CS, but the gold's even still. This game's honestly been quite fierce at the start with all this fighting, but I guess we're not going to slow down here with Alistar going in, knocking, pulverizing, exhaust. Kai'Sa follows us up. It's going to be dead Armona. Easy for Brandon to get a free kill, and you know that's going to get the lead a bit more for Warp to push it.
Yeah, and I think that's a bit of a mistake coming out from Ardmona, isn't it, James? Just slightly trying to get that wave in and gets absolutely punished.
Yeah, definitely too greedy, especially when he sees that the jungle is top side. Nidalee's definitely going to be up for Dragon. It's good to see Brandon finally playing around this Kai'Sa, because she's been falling back in CS. She was down about 15 before, but they've evened up to about 1 wave. They're getting the Dragon, they got the kills, so bring the Kai'Sa back in the game.
Yeah, and
I'm going to have a preemptive Galio ult actually here, just to secure the Dragon.
No, and that's good.
It's quite interesting.
It just shows that Warped, you know, they want to make sure they have all their eggs in the one basket when it comes to securing those objectives, even if it is these ultimates. But I guess the grubs will be coming up relatively soon, so hopefully that doesn't come back to bite them, and Destiny try to get the grub advantage and maybe look towards a split win condition. I would imagine Yasuo and Jimbo on the side lanes, they could start getting a bit oppressive as the game goes on. Just the Galio won't be able to answer, but I guess the Renekton can make up the gap. But we do have Jonu popping the Dominus onto Jimbo Baggins and the Flash, and just pretty much culling the pig into the ground and picking up more additional plates, and the Renekton building this top lane lead quite a bit here. So Jimbo Baggins starting to fall behind, and maybe not taking Flash, or taking Flash is kind of going to come back to bite him, but I guess you'll have to get tankier sooner rather than later.
I'm surprised to see he doesn't have Ninja Tobies yet. Like, he's opted for the Cinder and the Brambleverse before finishing his boots, which he just gets punished so hard by this Renekton early game. It's kind of greedy.
Yeah, I guess he's gone for the Sunfire Thimble Winter Tech, and he's kind of half building everything, even for the Brambles as well. He's just trying to cover too many bases, and as a result, he does get punished, like you said, James. So we do have Destiny poising for the grubs. They really want to get this 4-2 grub advantage here, and I think they're going to get a bit crowded here. Jonu does not have the Dominus. Beautiful Dwayne will land a pretty pivotal combo here. The Rakan actually goes in. Jonu's trying to find Satanic Badger. They're playing this fight relatively slow. A big ultimate coming out from the Yasuo, but they just not quite have the damage. damage, but if they keep kiting this out, I think the Nidalee will get CC'd down and eventually get taken out. But right now, Prodigium is landing a couple of good amounts of combos and crowd control, and they do force Warped back. But we do have a 1v1 in the bot lane now. Ardmona and Kaidas really trying to stack check each other, and I think the Kaiser should eventually win this out, but for some reason finally pops the barrier, and there we go. The barrier diff comes out for the Kaiser in the end, so I would be a bit upset if I was Ardmona just then.
A really close fight. This is Kaiser went in a bit too late. The wave was already there, so she couldn't get the isolated Q damage onto Jinx, which makes it pretty easy. I mean, pretty even 1v1 with barrier. Kaiser still edges out a little bit. Oh, Prodigium, Green's top.
All right,
Does.
so can Byron play this 1v2? He does have quite an advantage here, but Satanic Badger does miss the flash combo, but I think Nidalee's going to get shut down here by Byron, and Satanic Badger picks up the Galio. So Destiny showing why they beat this team in the very first round. They just seem to always want to fight them whenever they get challenged. So yeah, we might be in for a long game, guys.
This is definitely going to be a long game. Even Alistar killing Briar and Breinstein at the top lane. But we have Jimbo Baggett and Jonyu just posing in the mid lane again, just from top to mid. Yes, Destiny is just playing their strength. Like I said, the messy team fights is what they need. The front to back is not what they are looking for. So these fights are all in Destiny's favors, and it's keeping them up with the gold.
Yep, and Ardmona picking up all these big plates and not able to defend their turret, so Warped are definitely being punished in the bot lane a little bit more. Oh, this is a bit closer than I thought it would be like, but a flash being forced out, but Brayden comes back in straight away, wants to pick up the double kill, lands the spear, and that's it. He gets his Dark Seal stacks back from the top lane, so yeah, he's always there, and a bit of an overstay coming in for Ardmona and Prodigium, so they get punished straight away, and hopefully Satanic Badger doesn't have the same fate. And it looks like
I think
that
he could
may
die
be the
here.
case. Yeah. Oh, Jimbo Baggins, he's starting to get that.
Yeah, this is
passive
definitely
stack up.
diveable. No flash on the Lilia. He just dies for free here.
Oh, and that's a shutdown.
That was really bad.
Yeah, that's not good. Let's see if Destiny are able to take this back, because right now Warp did get a pretty big advantage just then, taking away 3 for none. So Jono here does have the Dominus. Is he actually going to take this fight here? Jimbo Baggins does have the passive procs going, but I think a empowered Q will take that. And Brayden gets caught out again. So right now, Byron popping off on this Yasuo a little bit, guys. I think, are we going to get a Yasuo carry?
That's a nice rotate. Unlucky for the Nidalee, I think. They got the double kill bot. He looked for the invade on the red buff, but his bot lane crashed the wave and didn't actually walk to red buff with him. They just reset. So they kind of left him out to dry here.
Yep, Byron just
That was
landing
pretty-
the ultimate there.
Yeah, it was pretty fancy, honestly. You know, Brian Bernstein is probably filling himself really a lot with that shutdown in Italy, so he's just going in for that. Even taking the Raptors, you know, just a little bit more disrespect from the Italy over here.
And I gotta say, yeah, with the sub coming in from Destiny, that they're taking it to Warped here. They're trying to invade, take away Brayden's jungle, trying to take away his tempo.
Kaiser's out of position here.
Yeah, and he is, and unfortunately does get altered and is able just to walk out here. We're going to see if
Yasuo's
Byron
on the
has
back
anything
line.
to do it. Yeah, but he is quite isolated here. I think the Renekton can really take him out quite easily if he's not careful, but they're going to back away here. And yeah, it looks like Satanic Badger is going to die here. Does land a pretty good Q, but Galio answers with the taunt and a couple of flashes being blown just then. But this is why Renekton is so strong. Just his mid-game his 2-1 and power spike, once he gets it, he's just going to be such a annoying champion to deal with. He's just able to stack check a lot of champions in the early mid games. So they eventually win that out, and they're going to take out this Infernal Dragon while Jimbo Baggins is pretty much trying to take this top lane turret. So it's good to see Destiny even taking it into Warp's jungle as well. So not giving Brayden the free game that he hoped he would like. So
Yeah, I would say that was a good play by Destiny, but I disagree with Jimmy Baggins being in the top lane with no TP. It's basically 4v5, and you know, you kind of like lose that out. There's no tower platings up to take, and so Warp gets the dragon.
yep.
I think they just split the damage a bit too much, because 3 of them got away with about 10 health, so no reset for the Jinx, and while they were focusing on those low health enemies, the Renekton was just free hitting on all the carries. So I think they just need to focus on one, get Jinx to reset, and then that fight's definitely winnable. But without a reset, Renekton.
Yeah, and it's
Oh, definitely they need to commit.
Yeah,
Go on, Chris. Go.
Yeah, no, it comes down to execution, and right now Warped have shown they've had better execution throughout the season, but we're going to see if Destiny can pretty much turn that around against first place Warped, and I think they're the only team to beat them, so they must know something that we don't, or it's just Warped not playing optimally. It's just they always seem to be fighting whenever jungle camps come up or objectives come up, so they definitely have a bit of, I would say, ego in terms of who's the better team. And right now, Destiny's saying we've beaten this team and we can beat them again. But yeah, that front to back, like James says, if the Jinx is able to get the reset and the assist and able to pilot those fights, yeah, Ardmona probably one of the better AD carries in the tournament, like you said. So, you know, it just comes down to, will his team have the synergy, or will Warped be able to shut them down with the Nidalee pick? Because right now, it's kind of looking like the Yasuo show, so he's definitely able to pilot these fights and land pretty crucial combos, but yeah, it might just come down to support diff. Will Beautiful Dwayne or Prodigium be able to, you know, make their teams thrive in those big moments when they land those crucial knockups or the crowd control, essentially?
To be honest, this is not how I expected. It looks like Johnny's going to run down Byron Bernstein, but Byron Bernstein is going to walk out knowing Nidalee's down there. But yeah, anyways, this is not how I expected the game to go out. But, you know, Destiny could be like Warp's kryptonite over here, being the only ones to take them out of the game. So it seems it
They're
seems
always
like it.
challenging each other in the river. It's just like, this is my river. No, it's my river. So yeah, it comes down to, yeah, Warped are going to pretty much have this dragon win condition. We're going to see if Destiny are able to take one back here, but they do have the grub advantage slightly here, but top lane is going to have nothing really happens. You know, there's a couple of tanks hitting each other. Prodigium trying to find something here, but I think Jonu can find it, but Byron immediately flashes out here. They do have a pretty good front to back setup here, and I think Jonu might get punished, but he's just too tanky. But Beautiful Dwayne lands a big knock-up. Gallia is actually going to come in, and I think Warped are going to run them over. Unfortunately, Prodigium slightly overextended, and he's able to get out somehow. So Nidalee does pick up the kill onto Satanic Badger there, but after all that, it's just a 1-for-0 trade there, and Destiny trying to challenge them in the jungle, and they get pushed right back.
It's just another team fight where the Sejuani is just not there at all. Like, they don't have any front line. Ricard walks up and just gets chunked, tries to peel the back line, but just no health, and Sejuani sitting in base with TP, decided not to use it.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just really letting his team down that one, honestly. Don't know what to say. More communication on Destiny is required here to have these proper team fights. That one honestly looked very warp-sided. If I was Destiny right now, I'd be quite scared.
Yeah, no, I would be, because I think as the game goes on, I think Yasuo, if he has the agency and he has the front line to help him land these crucial combos on priority targets, I think Destiny can run away with it with the Jinx, if Jinx is able to get to that 2 to 3 item power spike. Because right now it just seems like Nidalee's having a bit of a hard time trying to prioritize which target to focus, because these fights and skirmishes seem to be a bit chaotic, and right now both teams are kind of just feeling each other at the moment. Right now Warped are having the slight advantage over Destiny here, but Destiny definitely trying to take it to them, and I think this next dragon fight is going to be important, especially for the side of Destiny here, because they really need to set this up, get the Sejuani in there to be that front line, and to see if they can actually take this dragon away from Warped, or else I think they're going to be in a bit of trouble.
I think Warped might struggle a little bit late game, because Class has gone for the AP hybrid build.
Oh.
They don't really have that much AD damage other than Renekton, but late game Renekton's not going to be able to solo kill the Sejuani, so as the game goes they might struggle a bit with their damage share, because it's a lot of AP with the mid lane and jungle and AD all being pretty AP heavy.
Yeah, and I really would like to see Jono kind of prioritize an Eclipse or a Spear of Shojin, just to give him a bit more agency, because right now his team does have the front line, so he does need to have that, you know, bit more bruiser damage type of build. So he has gone for the stock standard Black Cleaver into the Asterix cage, and that will definitely give him a lot of agency, but just to have a bit more team fighting power and just prioritize his targets, he does need to start building probably that Spear of Shojin, in my opinion, or an Eclipse. It just really depends how the front line goes on the side of Destiny. I think Jimbo Baggins is playing a bit too passive, but we do have the Rift being popped here, and they'll be able to crack Warp's mid lane turret here for free. Jonu is really trying to push the side of Destiny in terms of taking that top lane turret, but he will get collapsed on here, so we're going to see how they're going to play it out. Is it just going to be a sacrificial play, a tower and a dragon just for a death? So I think this is actually going to work out in Warp's favor.
It's definitely worth it to die here. They've pulled 5 top lane for this. They gave up their mid
He
tower with the
decides
Herald,
to
but they get
flash
dragon.
in, but I don't think wasting your flash like that is quite worth.
Not
But
worth it.
he was feeling himself just a little bit there, so.
I think Destiny played that pretty well, honestly. Even if Warp gets the dragon, I think that's the best they could get. You know, if they fight the team fight at dragon, they were down full items on the second one. So grabbing a tower in the mid lane opens them up while they still have theirs. So I think that's the best they can do.
Yeah.
I think they just have to push mid. I think they sack dragon, send 2 people top, and then just have 3 people just sieging mid. Give the dragon, force Warp to either take the dragon or match mid.
Oh, here
I
we
don't
go.
think
They're
they
going
can
to
send
catch
5
out
top.
the invading jungler. The Gallia ult comes in, but they're forced to immediately go out. And I think Satanic Badger is going to pay for it with his life. And they try to do a cheeky invade here. And I think Byron, if he doesn't get out of dodge, he will get collapsed on the Renekton. Flank comes in with the TP. And this is classic Warped saying, are you going to invade us? Really? You really going to invade us like that? So they get a Baron for their troubles. And I think Destiny were reaching just a little too far on that one. And we do have the Baron being taken. C4J, what are your thoughts on the itemization for these junglers specifically? Leandri is definitely being prioritized. Why do you think Leandris are so strong with these APC junglers?
Well, Blackfire Torch got nerfed, so it's not that great right now. And Leandri's just a broken item for any team comp. Looks like Brandon's gonna go in.
Ooh.
Beautiful dog, big knock up. Everyone's gonna. Johnny's gonna keep pushing the lead and just wipe everybody with the. You know, Brandon. You could say that was a pretty jump in, but you know, Destiny doesn't have enough damage to kill him one shot, so it was just a bait.
It was a masturbate, that's for sure. So I gotta sound like one of those guys in terms of, yeah, this might actually come down to a support if Beautiful Dwang is able to find these combos and Prodigium has to work harder than he needs to because he's playing into a counter matchup. So they pick up the Baron, they take the tier 2 turret for free here. Prodigium's just trying to defend his turret, but to no avail, and this is how the game opens up so quickly. The scoreline is 10-20, and they're poised to take this Dragon Soul. Chemtech, not the worst, but it does give you that tenacity, I suppose, and that utility for those fights. So, you know, that Sejuani passive stun ice combo is not going to mean as much, and maybe Prodigium's combo as well is not going to mean as a lot as they start stacking that second one as the game goes on. But I gotta say, in terms of itemization and the way that both teams are approaching it, even though Yasuo does have all the gold on the side of his squad, he's got to work so hard to find these angles, and Prodigium's got to work so hard to find these angles. So we can see the draft diff definitely coming through, like you guys mentioned earlier. So yeah, right now this Renekton's a bit hard to deal with. He does build the Randuins, so he's definitely trying to disable the Jinx and the Yasuo of all things. So he's definitely piloting his champion quite well. I'm happy to see a good Renekton find those flanks and those angles to make it work.
Yeah, I think Randuins usually wouldn't be good, but when it's a Yasuo who's just solo carrying the enemy team, I think it works. Yasuo has got the wit's end for the MR, but he doesn't really have any damage to kill these tanks. He doesn't have a Kraken, so the Galio and Alistar and Renekton all just not taking any damage at all.
Yeah, and he's gone for a Bloodthirster, I think, as well, or am I not mistaken?
Yeah, it's Bloodthirster, yeah.
Yeah, so he wants a bit more sustain here, but yeah, Warp taking out all the outer turrets here while they still have the Baron buff and just extending their gold lead even more so. So the last outer falls on the side of Destiny, so they're definitely down about 8,000 gold here. So it's just going to be a matter of time before... What will Destiny do? How can they challenge them in this state of the game? Because right now the Renekton's too big. The Kai'Sa is definitely accelerated, even though it has gone for a build that isn't quite optimal. It just goes to show that Prodigium's trying to find something here. Byron actually goes in with the last breath here, but the team is not on the same page, and they're able to win that quite convincingly here. Bit of damage coming out from the Yasuo, just showing why he does quite a bit of damage, but they did burn quite a few ultimates there to try and make that work. And yeah, they're just going to take the bottom inhibitor for the side of Destiny. So Warp definitely accelerating the game here. They really want to take it to them, but I think Warped are a bit too coordinated, and they're able to play the front to back a little bit more better, surprisingly, compared to Destiny.
Yeah, so this is what I was afraid of. When Warp plays the front to back, you know, with the team fights, it's unkillable. It's their best strategy, and it doesn't work. Even Beautiful Dogs getting picked by Brian Bernstein over here. But will it change enough? I'm not sure about that.
Well,
They
this
might be able
dragon?
to stall out, and it is a dragon. I would have liked that kill to go to Ardmona, because right now Ardmona is really struggling into this comp. So he's trying to play the front to back. There's just a Renekton on top of you. There's a cow on top of you, and you know the Galio is going to ult as well. So Warped finally take a breath and they take a step back while Destiny take this dragon, so they're able to stall out the game a little bit longer. And right now, what are your thoughts on the itemization on the Jinx? I would imagine that would be the correct build path, or could have been done a bit better.
I think it's right. He's going for the A3rd, but it's just really hard to play Jinx into a full dive comp. I think especially with Rakan, this should be a Xayah pick. It just counters the whole dive comp. Even if Jinx gets this IE, she just has Alistar, Kai'Sa, Galio, and Nidalee, and Renekton, all 5 of them diving on her, so she can't really do much. The Rakan can't solo peel, so even once she gets the IE, she's still not going to be able to do much.
Yeah, and not having any armor shred in the entire team, it just goes to show that she's going to be hitting these champions for a long time. So the Leandries will definitely have to do a lot of work on the Satanic Badger. Prodigium is forced to back here. He was about to get collapsed on, but they're going to probably look at this middle turret now on the side of Warped, and yeah, they just can't quite find the angles in terms of they're able to get a pick here or there, but in terms of the 5v5, it's just Warped are so suffocating at the moment. And they do land a knock up here, and an ultimate comes out from Jimbo Baggins, but the Sejuani is really tanky. The support lands a pretty big taunt, but I think he's slightly overextended here. They land the ultimate, so the support's able to get out of dodge because the exhaust was taken down. So we do have Jono. That's why Renekton is such a big boy, but they are taking this 5v6, the turret, quite doing amount of damage and being the 6th member for Destiny, but they're slowly losing this out. It's just a flash comes out from Braden and he's able to get out of dodge. So the Alistair is so tanky at the moment. Prodigium tries to find another angle here, but unfortunately the wallets are smacking the side of Destiny here, and I think they'll have to let this one go. Even though Byron does have the Bloodthirster, it's going to come down to the Baron. And yeah, they're really trying to take it to them, but they don't want to take the Baron just yet. I think they actually smell blood in the water. I think they want to end this game with the timers and only the one Nexus turret in play. So they're going to probably collapse on this top side. They're going to push the bot side and really suffocate Destiny, but the timers are coming in right now, and I think Nidalee's in a bit of trouble if they're able to collapse, but they're not able to do so. So Warped back off.
I think Destiny played that fight pretty well, but they're just so far down in gold that it doesn't really matter. They can't kill anybody.
Ooh, Byron's feeling himself a little bit, and he will get taunted up, so he's not going to land that last combo, and he's not able to get any more from that. But like you said, James, Destiny are playing relatively well, but they're just so behind in terms of wallets. And yeah, and it's starting to really hurt this Jinx. And I think Kai'Sa is definitely having a fun time picking up all this additional gold and whatnot. So yeah, I think Destiny are going to probably make a rash decision here and try to take this Baron while they see the play. Will they able to be able to pull this off, Dana and James? Well, let's wait and see. Oh.
Prodigium looking, but that's just going to
There's a
dissuade
Galio
any
in your
engage.
face. Yeah, it's a bit rough. All right, Braden, let's see what you got, brother. He's going to go in for the Baron still. Renekton goes in 1v5. The Galio comes in. They're trying to pilot this out, and they pick up the Baron, but will they be able to get out of here? I think this is actually looking pretty dicey on the side of Warped. I think Destiny is starting to corral here. The Nidalee falls. Jono, he is so big here, but they need to get the gold on more meaningful carries here. Prodigium is able to kite it out slightly, but does fall. Jimbo Baggins eventually falls here, and the cow and the croc will be able to pick him up. But yeah, Jonu coming in through for the Renekton pick does pick up the Eclipse and is doing more meaningful damage, while the minions are hitting the inner Nexus turrets for the side of Destiny, and Jonu eventually pick up this pig, but it's making it quite annoying. So right now Destiny are able to hold the door, try to make that Baron play happen, but they have an exposed Nexus. So it's going to get even more tough
Yeah.
for them.
That was a really good call by Destiny. You know, you can see that Warp was trying to recall, so you go for the Baron, either force them to stay while they don't want to, or they recall and you do some damage. Baron, Jimbo Baggins did a really good job keeping Brandon over the wall so he couldn't smite it, allowing Satanic Badger to take the Baron.
Ooh. And Jonu is slightly overstayed here, but he does have the Dominus back, and I think Satanic Badger will be able to not pick this up. And he does get charmed up by Prodigium, who they're going to give the kill to Ardmona. No, it goes to Satanic Badger, but they're able to bait another pick in here. So I think Destiny now have another chance. But we do have a couple of pings going towards the mid lane here, and Destiny are able to stall out a bit longer. They do have one person with the Baron, and I think they should try to get this bounty gold on the side of Destiny to close this gap even more. Even though it is 5,000 gold, it just feels like it's so much more. But they're going to pick up this dragon, and they're going to see if they're able to make anything happen. But we do have a bit of a sneaky backdoor coming in for Kaiser here, but he's waiting for the right moment there. Kaiser's actually going in now, and a recall coming in. 3 recalls, 4 recalls. No, it's going to be 3 recalls, and he picks up the inhibitor for free there. So this is what happens when you have an exposed Nexus. You have to play so careful.
Yeah, Warps, Jonos, and the support getting picked just before the dragon. What are we doing, boys? You know, that is not what we should be doing. We should get the 4th dragon and end the game. Does have no Nexus turrets or anything. But
Yeah.
even Jimbo Baggin fighting Brandon out in the open, you know, with his pants down, but he's just gonna jump over and get away. So.
Yeah, and that comes down to some of the chem techs able to give more tenacity and utility towards the crowd control that is landed by any of these big boys. But yeah, Destiny holding on, and I'll be quite surprised if they're able to perform a little miracle here and survive for another 5 minutes, because right now I think Warped are just looking to close out the game, waiting for probably the next Baron or the next Dragon, or they're just going to 5-man mid, who knows. But yeah, right now it's coming down to the wire here, 33 minutes, and you know, Destiny are not falling over just yet, but they're able to find these picks, and the Yasuo definitely, if he's able to finish that death stance, he should be able to survive against this Renekton a little bit better, but we're going to see how that goes. But yeah, one mistake and Destiny will pretty much lose the game here. So Prodigium trying to get as much vision down for his team as much as possible here, but it's just it's such a tough fight for them, and it's almost like it's a losing battle almost. But I'm glad to see Destiny hanging in there for sure, not losing any sort of composure here, trying to get the vision down, play methodically and slowly, try to find these picks. But that top lane minion wave is starting to look scary. Ooh.
Yeah, I think a straight 5v5, Destiny's probably favored at this point, but if what play this route, there's not going to be any straight 5v5. There's 3 open inhibs. They just have to sync their waves so they're not like all dissynced. If they just push all the waves together, Destiny's going to have to go catch the waves, and then Warps can look for the fight with an uneven matchup in mid or bot.
Yeah, and that's it. And even though there's a lot of minions going in, oh, that could be a big sleep, but they're not quite in position here. That is a big minion wave in the top side, and I don't think, like you said, Warped are probably not going to give them the chance to 5v5 here. They're just going to look for these inhibitor turrets. But Ardmona does get a lot of free gold here as the minions start crashing in. So if they're able to hold an open nexus, I'll be quite surprised here. Prodigium tries to look for a big play, but he's not able to do so. But unfortunately, the last breath will not be used just yet. Kaidas is trying to get rid of Jimbo Baggins. The pig is a bit too thick here, and I think they're going to try and kill Jono here on the bot side here. So 2 battles fighting at once. I think this is a bit of a challenge for Warp. Can they actually find this Kaiser? A big sleep will actually come through for the Lilia. Satanic Badger, Galio is trying to use his ult defensively. Prodigium, Destiny, they're starting to take this fight back into their own hands, but the TP actually comes in here. The ADC will get picked up. The minions are going to start hitting the Nexus soon, but Destiny, they might be able to make it work. Renekton is not quite able to get the job done. Oh my god, he's surviving for so long. Brayden, Jonu, and the support fighting it really, really hard. The last ref comes through, and I think the Yasuo is going to win it here. Renekton is so big here, but he's not able to fight 2 champions. And he will eventually fall, and they survive somehow. Destiny really holding on here.
Yeah, honestly, wow, yeah, insane fight coming out of Destiny. If they weren't so far behind, they would have won this game already. even the minion's gonna end this game for Warp, but it's just gonna come down to another reset. So
Yeah, they did the one thing they shouldn't do. It was a straight 5v5. Even with the Renekton getting a free reset and TPing back into the fight full health, still can't save it. They just can't afford to be 5v5 against comp that has Yasuo, Lilia, and Rakano in it with Jinx hitting 4 items now, just free shotting from the backline.
And that's what I mean. Like, the Renekton should have probably gone for a more aggressive build here, in my opinion, but has gone for the Randuins and the Spirit Gauge. Does have decent amount of damage, but if he's able to have something like the Spear of Shojin, will probably just enable him so much more and able to probably clean up these fights a bit more cleanly. He does have the front line to do it with the Galio and the Alistar, so hopefully he recognizes that, because he's at full item builds, so maybe he'll be able to update his items as the game goes on, because yeah, it looks like slowly but surely Warped are realizing we can't win the 5v5. So yeah, the Baron is the play, but this open Nexus just makes it so tough. And we do have TP on the side of the support on Galio. So we're going to see if they're actually able to make this happen. Can Destiny hold on? Can they not get baited into this Baron? They just need a bit more time to get this... I would say the Jinx is online at the moment, James, with that 4 item power spike. So yeah, is probably able to win that 5v5. All right, here we go. Both teams are looking at each other, and I think Destiny, they just have to play a bit more careful here. There's a lot for them to lose, which is basically the entire game here. They're just waiting for this inhibitor to spawn, but it won't spawn for some time here. A big knock-up comes through, but they're not going to pull the trigger. They really want to make sure they get at least the ADC or the jungle for that knock-up combo. Prodigium looks for a big combo, but he's going to get absolutely blown up here, unfortunately, and this will pretty much be curtains on the side, but can they win a 4v5 here? It's just not likely, and another one falls, Ardmona falls, and it's just pretty much curtains on the side of Destiny, and just a big gamble play from Prodigium comes out, but it just doesn't work out. A last breath comes through. Can Byron actually do anything about it? But that's what I mean. As soon as one teammate falls, Warped just pretty much win the fight, but it's looking a bit closer than I thought it would be. The Lilia actually doing a bit of work, but it is not enough, and this team will fall. Man, if only the Jinx survived a bit longer, the fight would have been a bit closer, but yeah, it looks like Warp closed it out.
yeah, I don't think Destiny needed to force that so much with Prodigium jumping in, to be honest. I think they just had the better of 5. They did it slowly, so I'm not too sure about that. Warp will clean this game up easily. Not that easy, I would say, but it got pretty dicey at the end, but they will take the game.
And they will take the game indeed. So I think Prodigium's going to be a bit upset for himself for that one, even though it was his birthday recently. It just comes to show that
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday. Enjoy the loss, but it is what it is. you just gotta take it on the chin, making a big play like that. And yeah, they just try to force a bit too much. They should just wait for Warp to come to them. So I guess we're going to talk about SVPs and MVPs, because we're going to get this game 2 underway. Who do you think deserves SVP on the side of Destiny?
I think it's definitely between mid jungle. I'd lean towards Byron. He was kind of saving those fights with his ults.
What do you reckon, Don?
I would have to agree with that. Byron Bernstein definitely was the playmaker of Destiny for that one. So.
And I am going to agree with that as well. As the trio of casters, it just shows that he got a big lead in all stages of the game, making the support irrelevant for nearly all the fights besides pressing R. But yeah, congrats Byron, you win the SVP for game 1 against Warped, but unfortunately your team did take the loss there, and it just goes to show that yeah, Destiny do know how to play against this team. So yeah, very competitive indeed. But now we'll discuss the MVP, and I guess it could go towards 2 or 3 players. But who do you think deserves MVP in this one, guys?
I lean towards the Nidalee. He made sure Renekton didn't fall behind early, kept him ahead, and then after making sure Renekton was ahead, rotated bot lane and got Kai'Sa those few kills early, so made sure that top and bot were both winning.
Nice.
I'm going to have to put it on Jonu over here. I think he played pretty well in the 1v1 against Sejuani, and to break Sejuani's, strong beginning and then carry the late parts of the game. I think Jonu was one of the reasons why Warp didn't just straight up lose the game at sometimes in points of this game. So I would give it to Johnny. Look at that damage count, even 48,000 damage while being the tank, so
Yeah, and
being towards the top.
yeah, and me being, Renekton player, I don't want to show my bias too much, but it just came down to execution, and Johnny was able to get to the priority targets when it did matter. Some fights did look a bit sketchy, and the Nidalee was able to get the Renekton into that early mid-game scale quite safely in terms of he should have won. He did win the matchup in isolation, but the Nidalee did enable him quite a bit, and then he was able to get the job done. But he was always the surviving team member in terms of those late fights, and I'm probably leaning a bit more towards Jonu in terms of, he did get caught out once, but I think the Nidalee got caught out more than once in terms of, extending the game on the side of Destiny. So I would probably give it to Jonu. So congrats, Jonu, MVP once again. You're taking it away from Braden. So Braden, he's got your number on that one, that's for sure. So less MVPs for you, but I guess we're just going to dive right into the second game. As much as I would like to give it to the ADC, I think the ADC was kind of spoon-fed the entire game. It didn't have to work as hard, but the itemization was a lot to be desired. But, I guess Zhonya's is a pretty popular item, and if you get caught out, you can always go golden. But yes, as much as I'd like to think about the ADC, it was more like beautiful Dwayne carrying that lane into the counter matchup. So congrats, Jonu, for MVP, and Byron for SVP on the Yasuo. Able to see a Yasuo pop off is really awesome. But I guess I'll just get the game started for the second one. So I guess we'll just go straight into the custom and create it. But yeah, what are your predictions for this game? You reckon ADA is going to pretty much take it away from MMA or whatnot?
Yeah, ADA will take this game. They pushed through Pies to the end, and I think they're just a better team. What do you think, Chartibus? Any thoughts about these teams?
Yeah, I think ADA should win. I think Junior Burgers is pretty good. He's been high for like 10 years. I used to play with him back in like season 7. He's pretty good at the game. He's okay.
Alright, who else is on the team? I guess they can invite themselves now. I think that's good enough. Alright, and gotta invite. But yeah, no down break for this one. Sorry, no break for this one. We're just gonna get right into it. It is 7 o'clock on the dot. So yeah, they're just able to clean up that game. That microphone in the background for the African band really got to me. But yeah, they got a lot of very interesting beats in the background, kind of keeping me awake, that's for sure. I'm a bit tired at the moment. But we do have ADA pretty much ready to go. And yeah, I think ADA, they're starting to look stronger as they picked up Junior Burgers in the top lane. Pretty much was able to combo, I believe, Blade Xer every moment he got in the last game, but was not able to complete that. So I think Camille's going to be on the radar for a lot of teams moving forward if he's able to pilot the champ very efficiently like that. And, Camille doesn't really have any sort of counters in the later parts of the game, except for maybe a Fiora, if that. So Camille, very strong at the moment. So what are your thoughts on Camille as a champion and how Junior Burgers piloted it and nearly took down the reigning champs?
Well, I think Camille as a, Junior Burgers likes his bruiser fighters in the top lane. Camille is that character, and even if the bot lane gets fed, the ADC is like 10-0. Junior Burgers Camille, knock that down and kill them, so gets that shutdown and can continue doing that. So it's perfect character for him. But I don't see that going through the ban phase, and so we'll have to see what else he can pull out of his pocket for this game, to be honest.
Yeah, and it's going to be a quite interesting matchup in the top lane. Junior Burgers taking on Kled the Sped, probably the two higher elo top laners in the tournament. Kled the Sped showing that he does like his Ignite a lot. And I'm a bit guilty of that in solo queue, but in a tournament environment, he will get punished from time to time. But this matchup, do you think it's going to go to the side of Kled, or Junior Burgers is going to pretty much control him throughout lane phase?
I'm just keen to see what happens. Just two master players plus